Hey folks, once again, welcome to Wiggys. Today I'm going to discuss basically the Ducksback material and water resistance and vapor permeability and how it really works. Right in front of us, I've got a pullover. I'm sorry, not a pullover, but this is the wind shirt in the green. This is what was called a suplex jacket, baseball style, which is made with the tan Ducksback. Here we have the black zipper jacket. Here is the black pullover. And at the end, I have another what do you call it? Wind shirt. And I'm opening this one up so you can see on the inside it has the lamellite quilted to the fabric that's used for making the layer 2. And that's a very important fabric in these garments. Here we have our balaclava. It's available in all the different colors, and it's available in 2 sizes. We started out with one size, and a couple of guys couldn't wear them. They kept them for their wives, which was very nice, but they were too small, so we now have 2 sizes. And here we have a pogie. And for those of you who don't know what a pogie is, it's an item that was developed by a gal in the southeast who was kayaking in cold water. Even though the air temperature was warm, the mountain stream is cold. And her hands got cold, so she decided to make some sort of a covering. And she made this product, which she called a pogie. This goes back, I did some research in it a few years ago, maybe 8 or 9. And the reason she called it a pogie was because she named it after some small bait fish. And I thought to myself, growing up on the Atlantic Ocean in Brooklyn, we would fish for porgies, which you can catch all from northeast all the way down to Florida. But it's a pogie. And it eventually was used on bicycles. And what I did when I found out about it was to take some of the lamellite, Ducksback material, and made a few samples and decided that the best thing to do to make it real easy to put on a bike is to put a zipper on it. And then, of course, you've got the shock cord at this end. So these cord locks I use are just incredibly strong. And that closes up right near the steering column. And there's plenty of room to go in there and work your brakes, your gear changer. And because it's the Ducksback material, if it happens to be raining or snowing, nothing gets in. And we use the Lamellite L6 in it. We use the Lamellite L3 with the same second layer mesh in these balaclavas. Now, I said that the Ducksback material is the most water-resistant material I have ever seen. And I've sold a number of garments, and I've had a lot of reports from people using it in pretty heavy weather. And one fellow was on the Oregon coast at a golf club. And he wasn't playing golf because it was torrential rains. And he said nothing got through. And he stayed comfortable. And one of the things that people have to understand about these materials, when the moisture is coming out of your body, if the temperature is in the 30s and higher, that moisture coming out of your body is coming out as a vapor. And if your neckline is open, all of the vapor is going to come out your neckline. The warm air, warm vapor, goes up. And so you'll wind up losing a significant amount of moisture just by opening your neckline. And of course, when you have the lamellite insulation, the moisture coming out of your body is going to go through the insulation, and depending upon how much pressure you can apply to it, you may be able to drive it through the vapor permeability of the fabric. But my knowledge tells me that you're not going to create enough pressure from your own body. Now, another thing that you have to take into consideration is when you're moving and you're perspiring, all that vapor is going to be helped to come out of the garment because all of your movements essentially are a bellows action. Just like having a bellows to blow air at a fireplace to get it burning. When you're moving, you create a bellows action. And so all of these things contribute to getting rid of the moisture. And essentially, what I have here actually is a garment that does all of the things that every company from Gore on has ever talked about their product doing. And of course, I'm going to pick a guess and say 99% of the people that have used garments that are laminated films basically have the exact same experience. They have all this moisture buildup. It doesn't go anyplace. And because it doesn't go anyplace, you get wet on the inside. There's a tremendous beauty to this material in how it functions because it is vapor permeable to some degree. As far as I'm concerned, I won't promote it as such, but it's as close to being waterproof as anything I've ever seen that wasn't coated. So anyway, that's essentially what I'm doing, is making all of my insulated garments available in the Ducksback material. The Antarctic Parka, which I call the Urban Parka, is made with the Ducksback. It's also an underrated garment. I think all these garments are basically underrated. My favorite of all of them really is the wind shirt. Had I had it when I was sailing, I would have lived in it. Had I had it in all the years that I skied, I would have lived in it. It is remarkably comfortable. It has very little weight to it, and I've never weighed it, but I'm going to take this one, which is, I think, a double extra large, and I'm going to double extra large. Some of you might remember my $100 scale. That's the most expensive piece of testing equipment I have. One fella wrote me after he saw the laboratory in the video when I introduced the Ducksback. He said, Gary, I knew you had $1 billion, not $1 million, but $1 billion laboratory. Okay, here is a garment that weighs 19.4 ounces. For those of you who think European, it's 550 kilograms. So now you'll notice that I mashed it up and put it in there. When you take it out, I've never seen a fabric come back without wrinkles like this one does. So you'll always be looking good when you wear a Ducksback garment. If you put it in your backpack, and when you pull it out when you need it to warm up, or if it's raining, you're looking good. That's for all of the fashion plates out there. You know, it's enjoyable reading so much in the industry publications about all the stuff that they make, and every one of these companies is striving to make the most fashionable stuff they can. Of course, they then forget about the performance of the product. You know, so if you're looking good, that's all that matters. Now I got to take a look at Cookie. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Okay. Cookie is in her final stages of being trained as a service dog. She's incredibly bright, and she's picked up on everything very, very well. So, anyway, we have all of this stuff either in stock or in production. So if anybody's interested in acquiring this stuff, it's all on the website. And if you're not sure about sizing, just call the telephone number, the 866 number, and one of us will be able to answer your questions. So anyway, have a pleasant rest of the day of whatever you're doing. And I certainly do appreciate your attention. and the fact that you are customers of Wiggys.